Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, We're the Hair Sis. Again, my name is Arla and this is my sister Katrina. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We are going to talk about our truth about wig wearing. We're going to answer some of the most common questions or curiosities about alternative hair and wigs. Okay, so why did we decide to wear wigs? I'm gonna let my sister go first because she was actually the one who started wearing wigs, and she's been wearing it for over a year now.
So it had been a while. I remember sending my sister a few videos I would see here and there, and I would see people wearing wigs, putting on wigs, and I told her oh man, this would be cool if we could do this. But at the time I had seen so many videos and they just seemed so complicated. What they would call installing them, and I would watch videos and I was like, there's no way that we could do this on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of an idea, and then it got shut down. And then my husband actually was the one who was encouraging to kind of look into different options, because of course I had talked to him over the years about how hard it was for me to lose my hair.
And I'm sure he saw your frustrations as well.
Right. And so the first thing I actually had looked at was hair toppers, because I wasn't trying to go into fully wearing wigs yet. And so I had finally pulled the trigger on buying a hair topper. I want to say last year around the time my kids' birthdays, which was in October. So I had started wearing toppers then, and then that brought on the curiosity with wigs. So it was about last fall when I bought my very first one.
What was your first piece?
Actually, one of my first pieces was the one I'm wearing now, but it wasn't in this color. So this is Scene Sealer by Raquel Welch. I bought it in the color SS Ice Java, which I think everybody goes towards their bio hair when they first start wearing it. So that was one of my first pieces, and as you can tell, I still love this hair till now, because I had bought it in different shades.
For me, actually, I feel like it took longer for me to start wearing wigs because maybe I was in denial, but also I tried some of my sister's pieces on, and literally I don't every single time I would try one on, I looked like a mop. We would literally bust out laughing because everything looked so beautiful on her, so effortless, just looked so normal. And then I put it on and it would just be I would look like a mushroom or a mop, and it was just not happening. And so I stuck with my toppers for a little while. And then, I don't know which piece it was where I was like, okay, I really like this on me. I think it was Dolce & Dolce 23 by Beltress. My sister had it in, I believe, brown sugar sweet cream. But at the time I wasn't ready to go a different color for my bio hair yet. So I ended up buying it in the color ginger, which I believe is now a discontinued color. Mm-hmm. It was almost a really dark brown piece. And I had it sitting in the box for a long time before I even started wearing it out. But from then on, we've gotten used to, my sister's taught me a lot of what she's learned for the past year so that I could, so that I wouldn't struggle with wearing mine. She taught me how to measure my head, how to wear it properly, how to make the scalp more realistic, and so on and so forth, and how to care for them. Okay, she lent me one of her pieces. It was a Peerless 22 in the color British Milk Tea by Beltress. And, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to cut the bangs a little. And she's like, okay, that's fine. And then I wanted to curl it, make it more curled forward. And I ended up burning the fibers because I didn't know that you can't use over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
which is not common knowledge. So I should have told her.
Yes.
That not to go over a certain temperature. But
yes.
That's what happened.
So I FaceTimed her with the hair, and the bangs were like this because they were fried. And she's like, why do the bangs look like that? And I said, I straightened it. And she's like, how hot was your straightener? And I said, well, so-and-so settings. And she's like, that's too hot. And so now it's ruined. And I just wear it with hats. But anyway, I'm really grateful for my sister for sharing her pieces with me in the beginning, because she has amassed a great collection. But now, I have a collection of my own as well. And we really enjoy sharing our experiences with you and our favorite pieces with you, so that hopefully you'll get to our point now where it's easier to go out with your hair. So once my sister and I decided, okay, we're gonna stick to wigs and wigs alone from now on, and blondes, because we love the blonde color, we said, okay, let's start a YouTube channel. Let's just do it. Especially because my sister said, we don't see a lot of Asian American women sharing any struggles with hair loss, wig wearing, all of those. And so we wanted to kind of be
necessarily like representatives, but it's just that we just want to give the message that it doesn't only affect certain women, it doesn't only affect people of a certain age. And so we love being able to connect with other women, but we, again, as Asian Americans, just don't see, like, I guess others like us open up about it. So we really just wanted to send that message that it affects anybody and everybody, and so it just needs to be, I guess, normalized.
So how did the people closest to us react? Our husbands have been very, very supportive in our struggles with hair loss, and our mom as well. She knows my mom doesn't have as extensive hair loss as we do. Like, it's thinning, right? She's almost 60 and her hair is thinning, but it's not significant. But she was always so supportive of us and our hair struggles, and now our wig wearing. I think the first time my sister wore a wig to a family gathering was Christmas
of last year,
of 2023. Christmas of 2023, and her hair was so beautiful. And I think, like, people asked you.
I didn't really get a lot of reactions from, like, my uncles and aunts. It was just like I came in and they were probably just thought that was my normal hair, because again, it was like a dark, it was an SS Ice Java, which if you haven't seen it, it's like a darkest brown with some highlights on there. And I did hear a couple of like, oh my gosh, your hair is so nice, from my family members, and I didn't really know how to answer except for it's not my hair. And it kind of just, it surprised a lot of people, but it also opened up conversations about it. So I think, like, after that, I just knew that it wasn't going to be as bad as I thought in my head. And one of the first times I actually wore it, we have a pretty close set of friends, and every year we do, gather for the holidays also. The first time I did wear it also was last year during our, what we call our Friendsmas, and nobody noticed because it was literally a straight dark black hair. And I had mentioned it the next time we had a gathering, and that's when I had opened up to everybody that I was wearing.
But I think it's also when, because you started wearing blondes. You started wearing blondes, and then everyone was like, oh, okay, yeah. I love your hair. Where did you get it done? How many sessions did it take? And then you started switching back to, like, brown and then blonde, and then people were like, wait, what's happening,
Yeah, I remember I had bought my first blonde piece, and I tried it on a few times at home, and I never wore it out. It was like I had been wearing dark hair out, I think for like a few weeks or a few months already, and then I had bought that blonde piece, and I remember just wearing it inside the house and thinking, like, I really like this hair, never wore it out. And I think the first time I wore it in pictures...
What was it?
It was the another piece by Raquel Welch. Like, I was so in love with her. I mean, still now. When I first started wearing wigs, Wavy Day, and in the color Iced Latte Macchiato. And I think the first time I ever really wore it out and people saw me was when I went to Disneyland with my kids and my sister too, and we took photos with it. And
then I posted the photos, and then people saw that she was wearing blonde.
My sister posts everything online, so I think once it like went public, it was like, oh my gosh, she got her hair done, and it was. That kind of opened up that whole, and I knew it was gonna open up, and I was kind of glad because then it opened up conversations with our long time friends because none of them knew.
Yeah, none of them knew that we were experiencing hair loss and how significant it was, and a lot of them were saying, "Oh, I can't believe it. We never knew this and that." And, you know, we love them. Our girlfriends are amazing. We actually went on a Vegas trip. Was that this year? This year. Earlier this year, we went to Vegas, and my sister brought a few of her blonde pieces. And one night in our room, we just had like a wig try-on party where like the girls just tried on all of her wigs. You know, it was all fun, and they're very, very supportive of that. So we're grateful.
Yeah, I think it was more of our insecurities not sharing it with them over the years, and I think it just kind of turned into a how can we make this work, and just like nobody ever said anything to us, so we just never opened up about it. And I think after I got over I'm gonna try to wear the closest possible hair to my hair, and finally going out there and like whatever I thought looked good on me, I started wearing out. It honestly, I feel like it was just so freeing. And I think it was crazy because I would watch my sister go through that same process, because when I finally convinced her a few months ago to start wearing wigs, she wanted to go dark. She was getting dark. She wanted to get like darker versions of the hair that I would wear. And then it was like slowly she was trying on lighter pieces. It was
like a light bulb.
And now like her favorite pieces are blonde.
Also because we never were able to get our hair to be this color, like ever. First of all, it's very, very expensive. Second of all, damaging to your hair, hard to maintain, all of the above. But now you can just change up your hair without hours at the salon. So very, very convenient. How did our coworkers react to our wig wearing? So when we released our first episode on YouTube about experiencing hair loss over the past 10 years or so, since our early 20s, I showed up to work a few days later, and I've been working with these people for over 14 years, so we're like family. And, you know, most of them said, "What do you mean? Like, you're having hair loss? I can't believe it. What happened? This and that." And, you know, and I would just say it didn't happen overnight. It's been happening for a really long time. And so for them, you know, they're nurses, and they kind of want to look at it like in a scientific background-ish. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Well, you know, we tried a lot of things already. But, you know, they're also very accepting, and I'm grateful for that. I have yet to wear actually, no, I wore a wig to work once.
So for me, I actually just last year started a new job at a different hospital after working at another one for almost 5 years. So for me, when I first started this current position that I'm in, I had already been wearing hair toppers, so that's what I started wearing to work. I don't have anybody on social media. I don't, you know, everybody was kind of new to me, so that was never really I guess addressed or discussed with anybody that I work with. And so this last month or month and a half, or maybe 2 months now, we started this channel. I also still never had anybody on social media up until recently. And so when all of those kind of came together, and I started to wear wigs at work, so now a few of my coworkers know about it. And a lot of it is because when I wore a wig to work, a lot of my coworkers asked me where I got my hair done. And it was just like, oh my gosh, where did you get your hair? Where did you get it colored? Where did you get it cut? And it was just like, I mean, it was a conversation, so it opened it, so I was said, so here it is. And a lot of my coworkers have actually also been pretty supportive about it. And it's, I work with all women, so sometimes, I know a lot of you guys have experience when we talk about really, empowering women and I guess, like, lifting them up instead of putting them down. That doesn't always happen. And so I didn't expect anything, but it's been pretty much positive for the most part.
How did we get over wearing a wig in public? For me, it was because my sister was already an established wig wearer, so me wearing it, I feel like, was easier because I was kind of feeding off of her confidence wearing it out. But I did wear it around the house. My first pieces, I wore it around the house several times, several hours a day, and I wore one out to dinner with our friends at nighttime, just like short spouts of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that helps build your confidence in wearing wigs. In the beginning, you're gonna want to look in the mirror a lot to make sure, like, oh, is it slipping? Can they see this? Is my lace lifting? All those things, but it comes with experience. It comes with time where you just get used to it. So don't rush yourself, and know that it'll get better.
I think my sister brings up a good point, actually, because when I first started wearing them, it was just like I had done a ton of research, and it was a lot of like looking into videos of people and trying it on at home and buying and trying and returning and not this and that. So it was a lot. Even till now, which I think it's always probably going to be something that I think about in the back of my head all the time, is that when I'm having a conversation with people, I'm looking at their eyes to see if they're looking up to, right where my lace is. And being a nurse, I'm interacting with other nurses when we're giving report. I'm like face to face, like close to my patients as I'm helping them. So it's always going to be one of those things where I'm eye to eye with somebody and I'm watching their eyes if it's going to go upward. And so I think that's always going to be a thing. But honestly, I was telling my sister, even if, like, this is, the hair that we've always wanted, and we can change it any way we want, and every day, multiple times a day if we wanted to. And yes, we don't need to wear them. Yes. And I think that's one thing also that we get a lot, is that, oh, you have hair, you don't need it. And I also told her that there's always going to be people who say, who are new to finding out our hair loss, who will make suggestions, give input, which we just have to be able to be open to those things, because they're also just finding out. Mm-hmm. We've known about it because each other for over 10 years, but all of these people are just finding out about it. Mm-hmm. So you are going to get all that, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So I think that's another thing that's sometimes probably a lot of people get discouraged about, or of course that stresses you out. But I think the main thing that you have to remember is that you're doing it for yourself. So I think my advice for anybody who is starting out with wigs would be that it is a process, and a lot of it is going to be trial and error also. But I just don't want you to be discouraged, because it is going to be a good amount of effort. But the thing is, once you find, the hair that finally feels like you, honestly, it's
life changing.
Yeah, life changing. So, and you may not get the support that you need or want initially from other people, but again, like, you just have to remember that this is for you.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with everything that my sister said, and my biggest advice for new wig wearers is to subscribe to our channel. And also to know that there's hope after hair loss, and you will find your confidence again. So, thank you for watching, and we hope that you subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.